So if you know, a couple months ago I've done all the rust, the bottom of the rust of my van, and I have one panel that the rust kind of came back, this one here. So I'm gonna take care of this today. All the rest has been good except this one. So it might be two reasons, maybe because I didn't sand enough the first time, this panel especially, or that I know there's a couple days, one day when I was sanding, I had a little bit of rain. I just put the primer and it started raining and I was like, oh no. So maybe some water got behind and some moisture, and that creates some little bubble and the rust came back. But all the rest has been really good. So obviously if you know a little bit about rust, it's always something that you have to go back and check and make sure everything's all right. Hopefully this is going to be the last panel for the summer on the rust of the outside. But yeah, so I'm gonna take care of this little panel today and yeah, fix that. Alright, I just put the primer. I'm gonna let that dry, and I wanted to talk about the Jackery today. So a couple months ago I picked up this little guy here, the Jackery 1500, and it's been like a month that I've been trying, and I really wanted to play with it and see what I like, what, you know, maybe could be changed and things like this, and see who this Jackery could be for. So this is the Jackery 1500. Come with 3 AC plugs, so all your plugs for the regular plug that you can plug here. So I plug the sander on this one here, and to turn this unit on, you just have to press here. The little green light turn on, the display turn on, which is beautiful, and will tell you how many times you can run your appliances on here, the input, the output, all that, and how much battery you have left right here. So beautiful display, and yeah, you do have 3 plugs here. I'm gonna turn this one on, go over here. You have a fast charger for, like, if you want your cell phone, things like this, USB-C and all that. So if I want to turn this unit on, the same thing, just press there. After that you have your input. So I'm going to show you about the solder, but we can put solder here, and you have your 12 volt DC. So if you want to plug your 12 volts, you have a fridge, you go run on 12 volt, things like this, you can have this, and the same thing here, you can turn that on, and this is the display here. So I just went inside, grabbed my phone just to show you. So I'm gonna plug into the fast charge here, plug that to my phone. So on the display, this is what show you. So the output, so I know to charge my phone till 12 volt, and I could charge my phone with the rest, oops, sorry, put on the display, with the rest of this battery, 35 hours of charging for this phone. So this is really what I like to tell you, how many watts and how many time, and especially when you charge, I'm going to show you in a second how long it's going to take you to fully charge your unit based on the solder. So yeah, really like this new display here. So I have two 100-watt amp hour solar battery that I'm gonna plug on this little thing here. There you go. And now we're gonna have two solar panel plugged into the Jackery. So sorry with the sun will be a bit hard to see, but I do get a 172 watt, 180, get it a little bit more now, of solar, almost 200 right now, and it will take me 6.4 hours to fully charge the battery based on the, like I have like how much, 32% right now. So yeah, it's really going up and down, but 5.8 hours to finish to charge the battery. So great little display. This is new on a new battery, which I do really like that it show you how many hours will take to finish to charge a battery completely based on your solar and or if you plug into a wall, because you can plug into a wall, a regular plug at home. If you want to just bring this on your weekend road trip, things like this. You can also plug when you drive on the 12 volt from your cigarette lighter, or you can plug with the solar, and I'm going to show you what you can do to increase even that in a second. We can plug even more solar or double charge this battery. And this is what I like, because if you know, I used to own, I still own the little Jackery 240, which is the smallest one. And I purchased this one just when I went with the van. So this was my first battery that I got from Jackery, and everything was plugged into that little small 240 watt battery. But the problem with this, at the time I was charging when I was at work, sorry, so I was a janitor and I had access to some storage that had power, so I knew my boss told my boss, but like I plugged the battery and I was plugging for the whole night. I was leave it there. And yeah, it takes a long time to charge that little battery now that I mostly charge with when I'm driving, things like this. It can be a little bit frustrating for that, especially if you need a lot of power, if you need to plug your computer, the laptop, like me, like I'm on my laptop probably 4, 5, 6 hours sometimes every day. So it's almost impossible to just be on this little one now because I have so much need for charging my laptop, things like this. So I mainly use the Jackery, the big Jackery like this to plug on my laptop, and I really enjoy, like right now we are just in the back country and I get, you know, do my little thing, clean up inside the van, and have this guy get like charged with those two solar, which is amazing because I do not have any solar on my van. This is the only type of solar that I have, and I'm really glad because I can move, I can stay, like right now it's not warm, but if it was a really warm day, I could park in the shade and leave that in the sun and get this unit charged. And like I said, this is where I plug my laptop, my phone, if I have a little blender that I use also with this. So very useful little unit, and I'm going to show you in a second how we can increase even more the power. So I just plugged like 4 solar panels right now, and I get 400 watts of power right now, which is amazing. So it will take less than 3 hours to fully charge this battery. Right now it's at 30% full right now. So quite amazing if you need like fast charging. And I understand it's not like everyone's gonna have 4 panel, but I think seriously with only 2 solar panel. It is amazing the charge you can get. And like I said, you can just plug this when on your weekend you are in your campsite. You just leave the battery there. I've done several times, and if you are in a city, I've done a couple of times too that I put only 1 panel would fit on my front dash, and I get a little bit of like solar from that. So a lot of option, and I'm going to show you also the rest of the option that you can have. So the little kit come with this here, the solar, and you can plug into your regular solar plug. This is the cigarette lighter, so when you're driving, like I said, the regular plug here, and everything like the solar, which I use it right now. So you have all this in this little case, ready to go, ready to use. Like you saw, like those solar panel really fit well. They flat really well, and the solar go inside so you don't break the solar. And I put them in the back, as you saw when I opened my van, which right now is a little bit messy because of the things that I'm doing. But I just put them in the back, close the back door, and that's it. They are not in my way, and they are just ready to go. So who did I think that battery is for? I think if you are doing weekend van life, more than a weekend, if you are going for a long trip, overlanding type of thing, you don't want anything plug into permanently on your van or on your car. I think these are quite amazing, and like I said, you can have so much fast charge that it's worth it compared to a smaller unit like the 240 that will give you power probably for weekend if you are good with your power. If you don't have like a little laptop and things like this that use a lot of battery, the little 240 would be good enough for a weekend. But if you are going for overland for several weeks at a time and you don't want anything to put inside your van permanently, I think that's a good option. And I think for a couple people like me who doesn't know anything about solar, I'm lucky that one of my friends helped me put my DC to DC AGM battery inside my van, but I didn't know anything, and this is why I purchased a little 240 at that time. That's the only thing I could afford, and I didn't know so much about the power that I would need and all that, so I used only the little 240, which was okay. I just had to be super careful with my power consumption. But yeah, to be honest, I'm using the big battery now all the time. The 240 I don't use that often, just because this charges so much faster now. Even when I'm driving, I can plug into my cigarette lighter and I have the solar, which is amazing because, you know, I don't have to drain any battery. I just put that outside, get the sun when we don't have any cloud and get all the power and all the power that I need when I'm in the backcountry, which is amazing. So I think those type of battery are also amazing, like you saw for outdoor. I sent the whole van, like I said, the rust that I had on my van, I sent all this with a big Jackery. I love when I go in the backcountry that I want to like reduce the tire, like the air on my tire. I do have a little air compressor that I purchased, nothing fancy, and I can put back the air on my tire after that I do a little trip in the backcountry. So I have a smooth drive on the gravel and a smooth drive when I get back in town. So this has been amazing too. And also when I do a little construction, right now I have a couple little panels to sand. So this is just amazing to do everything outside as well as inside your van. So the downsides that I will say, yes, the battery is a little bit big if you want. I mean, you do have so much power that I understand that they, you know, it's try to condense as smaller as it can, but obviously it's a little bit heavy compared to a smaller unit like the 440. That's just obvious that's going to be that, and a little bit bigger, but it's not something that it's like huge, will take you a whole van. You just need a little corner in your van and you're good to go. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you got a bunch of information. If you need all a battery like this or any other battery on the Jackery, I will leave a link. I have a discount. I will leave the link on the description. This is just, I really love when company just give you a discount, guys. So I'm gonna leave you with that. And if you have any question, let me know. I'm gonna do my best to try to answer them in the comment. And yes, I think if you do have a rig that already have all the solder and the battery, it's probably not something that you may want to consider. Maybe a smaller size Jackery just when you go outside would be good enough. But if you are not someone who have any knowledge of power and how to put that in your van, or if you're doing that just on a weekend and don't want to invest to plug everything inside your van, I think this is amazing. And like I said, yes, a little bit heavy, but it's not something that it's super downsized. I can lift it, I can go outside, it's not a big deal, you know. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Jackery, to reach out to me and giving me those little solder so I can share my experience with you guys. And I will see you in the next video.